Jesse James stashed stolen treasure in a deep ravine in the Wichita Mountains just outside of Lawton, Oklahoma. And then he etched the location of the treasure along with the names of the people who owned the treasure, which was the James Gang, in a brass pot. That way, when they came back, they would know where to find it. Not only that, if anyone else found it and took the treasure, you knew the James Gang was going to come shoot you. This is the story of Wichita Mountain Gold. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave comments. In 1876, the James Gang attacked a group of Mexican Guardsmen that were carrying gold bullion on 18 mules. The James Gang stole the gold from the Mexican Guardsmen and transported it across Texas into Oklahoma, or what is now Oklahoma, into the Wichita Mountains. Back then, Oklahoma wasn't a state, it was native territory, and Oklahoma didn't become a state until 1907. So in 1876, this was native territory. There were no state laws, there were no federal laws. Basically, anything was free game. When the gang arrived in the Wichita Mountains in late February, there was a ferocious blizzard going on. The mules that were carrying the gold ended up freezing to death, and they had to bury the treasure. Supposedly, they buried the gold in a deep ravine just east of Cache Creek. In order to find the location of the gold when they returned, Jesse marked 2 trees with markings so they would know where the gold is. He nailed a mule shoe on a cottonwood tree. On the second tree, he unloaded his pistols, 6 shots each, into the tree. This would be markings so they could come back later and find the treasure. He then proceeded to etch a pact or a contract into an old brass pot. This seems strange to me that he would write up a contract or a pact between these men because they all knew each other. They were all also outlaws, but it also shows the location of it. So if they find this, then they can go back and find the location. At least that's what it sounds like. And then their names were also put on the bottom of it. So that way, I guess if any one of them took the gold, then the other ones were allowed basically to go handle them. Or it also signaled to anybody else that might have found the gold or found this pot that if you go take the gold, then you're gonna have the James Gang after you, and they're gonna come find you and they're gonna kill you. So here's the contract right here. You can go ahead and pause it and read it if you want to. I'm not gonna go ahead and read it, but you can pause it right now and check this out. So they ended up also burying this brass bucket, and this was in a hidden location. So I guess you had to remember the location of the brass bucket in order to find it. And once you found it, then you could follow these directions. And these directions to me look like how you get to the location of the buried gold. So if anybody found this, then they had the directions, but they also knew exactly who the people were who buried it. And so it would be up to you, I guess, if you wanted to go get it and have the James Gang after you. After they buried this gold, supposedly they went their separate ways. The blizzard was still going on, and they went out on their own to get away from it. And it wasn't too long after that, about 6 months after that, that the James Gang was actually ambushed in Minnesota. A lot of them got shot. Jesse got away, but there is no record anywhere of him actually going back to Oklahoma and trying to find this. Though I believe it was after this that Frank actually moved to Oklahoma and spent a long time down there actually looking for different treasures. There's this one. There's the one at Buzzard's Roost. There's a couple more down there. So all of this money that they took from the Mexican Guardsmen is supposedly buried in different places, and this is just one of them. So anyway, believe it or not, this is a fantastic story about Jesse James and the Jesse James Gang taking the gold and going burying it, and no one has ever found it as far as I know. There's people that say that it has been found, but there's no record of that. But I think it would be a really interesting adventure to go down there and look for it. I used to live in Oklahoma, but I never really made it down to the south, to the Wichita Mountain area. But looking at the pictures and everything, it actually looks like a pretty amazing place. So it looks like it would be a great adventure. I might go down there sometime, and if I do, I'll definitely check this out. And maybe you should too. There could be a bunch of gold down there just waiting for you to find it. So don't forget to like, subscribe, leave comments. Thanks for watching.